Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. You're looking at the Sturmpanzer I, the Bison, the Tier 3 German SPG located on the southwest spawn of Arctic Region. This one is under the command of TheLastKalos, and it's a two-part video featuring another replay also below Tier 5. Game on! Now this Arty basically is a 15cm howitzer, the famous SIG 33L11, which was a design that was actually from the 1930s, which was placed on top of a Panzer I Aslains. Now it's just the Germans' way of actually manufacturing an Arty that would actually be mobile and wouldn't need to be pulled by horses. Okay, he's kind of given his position away there by knocking over the trees, but I think he's just trying to make cover. He could be trying to make a false firing position, which the enemy might then try and fire at. But he's carving down quite a few trees, and he's ready now. Okay, it's, as I said, it's a 15cm howitzer. It's capable of doing 350 alpha, 35mm of pin, 6.2 meters on the burst radius, which is actually quite big, and stun duration of between 3.96 seconds and 6.6. The only problem is, although it does have a really high trajectory, it also has a fairly short range, and I think he's just noticed that because he built up that position and then suddenly realized he can't fire from there because it's just too far away from the enemy, and he has to get quite a bit closer. Now, a lot of players are actually quite surprised at this little Arty and its capabilities, and if you look in the playlist on our website, you'll even see a game by me in this little Arty where I absolutely hammer the enemy. So well worth watching that one as well if you can. It's definitely there. Well, first enemy tank's blown up, and he's now looking at a Sturm B. Now you can see it's almost at maximum range because the reticle is almost fully blown. Almost fully flat, rather, I should say, not fully blown. He's having to get much closer to the enemy because his teammates are just too good. They've wiped out most of the enemy tanks, except for the Sahariano, who's actually hiding just around the corner here. In fact, he's not the only one, because there's a Panzer S35 on their team, and they're both trying to get at this Sturmpanzer I, who's hiding around the corner. Now, you didn't used to be able to hide around there in the past, because it was quite dangerous being next to these holes. You could end up falling into them. But look at that beautiful shot! Right on top of the Panzer S35, and he's completely wiped out with one round. That's how powerful this howitzer is. It's like putting a tier 5 howitzer in a tier 3 Arty and just nailing the enemy with one shot. Rounds out, here we go. And there goes another one. 2 kills, 2 shots. It is that lethal. Now he's just having to wait for the reload. That's one of the bad things. The other thing that's really bad is the fact that you have to dial in and it takes forever to aim. But once it's aimed, it's very deadly. Now, that was a direct hit on the rear of the vehicle. It didn't wipe him out, but 149 hit points has certainly crimped his style. And the next round, which is still loading, and you can see you can make small adjustments without affecting the aim too much. It does have a very narrow arc though, 6.5 degrees either side of the center line, 13 degrees in total. So you can see he had to move the vehicle in order to get onto the smoor again. And now he's having to dial in, but not by much. Rounds out. Here could be a kill. Yep, he's got him. That's 3 kills. So I think you're getting some idea of how powerful the Sturmpanzer I is. Now, I said the name is a Bison. I was actually corrected that because I originally thought it went bison. But, in fact, it means Bison, the way it's actually pronounced. And he can't go any further forward because he'd fall off a cliff. It is fairly slow because basically it's a huge howitzer mounted still with its carriage wheels and everything, on top of a tiny little Panzer I speed. So it's not very powerful, but surprisingly, it can actually get up to 45 kilometers an hour. At least that's its maximum speed. In fact, it's even though that's only 45, it's still faster than the 105 FH-18B2, which of course is only 28 kilometers an hour, if I remember correctly. Well, he's almost loaded. He's going to give it another go. And he should be able to take out that Chi-He with just one shot. Okay, if you stay where you are, we'll finish you off quickly. Well, the shell actually deviated to the right. So obviously he missed him, but he must have splashed him for quite a bit. I would not be surprised if he's missing quite a few hit points. In fact, he is. He's now down to less than 25% of his hit points, as you can see by that exclamation mark. This round will be his doom. And it is. So that's 4 kills now for TheLastKalos. If he gets one more, then he would... Oh, there's the enemy Arty. It's the Su-26, which is the Soviet Tier 3, otherwise known as the popcorn catapult of doom. Now, he does have to get a bit closer because this cliff's a bit tall. And he's just spotted a B1 as well on the enemy team. He could just about reach both of them. But I think he wants that Su-26, who's suddenly gone out of view. So he's out of sight. So I think he's now trying to get the B1. Oh, we can see a tree just got knocked over by him. There he is. Okay, if that guy stays still long enough, we'll finish him off. Rounds out. Lands in front of him, but it was very close. He is low on hit points now. You can just about reach him because he hasn't got his reticule completely flattened yet, but it's close. He's almost at the edge of the map, actually, that B1. He won't be able to back up much further. Okay, we're on target, but he's stopped there. Okay, try it. Give it a go. He's marked the spot, but he's actually waiting for his teammates to spot the enemy. He could actually go for the M3 Stuart, who's actually is spotted, and he's decided to do that instead. Because, of course, if you can't spot the B1, then you have to... He actually held his right-hand mouse key down there to keep on the aim on target. He had a quick look at the M3. The M3's moving about a bit, and they lost sight of him temporarily. No, he's unhappy about that, but he shouldn't really go up above this ridgeline here, because he might be in sight of that M3 Stuart, which is a light tank. Of course, he does have fairly good view range, and so he might be able to spot TheLastKalos, even over here. Yeah, we have been spotted. I did say that. I warned you. I haven't watched this replay, but I can tell you, I know that that little M3 is at this moment spotting us. And now we've got to contend with the Su-26 lobbing some rounds in our direction. And they're more than likely going to lob a few. There's 4 left on the enemy team, only 3 left on our team, because we just lost the Su-76M. And the enemy team have got a Pack 40, the FCM-36 Pack 40. Oh, the B1's been spotted again. We're aiming in the wrong spot. There we go. He's carefully adjusting. There, rounds out. Looks good. Oh, RNG said, nope, you're not having that one. It hits the cliffside. Yes, our B1 doesn't want to get too close. And it looks like our B1 is actually taking rounds from the Su-26, who's right up on the north end of the map. Our Marder 38T, it almost looks as if he's been trapped in that hole. I think he might be. We can't tell at the moment, but it's possible that he is. Now, we're assuming that the Su-26 is somewhere around about there. Oh, he got him a blind kill. He was correct. go to the last site that they were spotted, and he's found him, and he killed him. Now, the M3 just got tracked, and I'm wondering, and I don't think he can get a shot in this guy, but I think the B1 is tearing this M3 apart, and he's gone. Which now means that having a 4-3 advantage, they've now gone to a 2-3 deficit, and our team is now winning. And we could go to the cap in our little Sturmpanzer I were it not for that Pack 40, who's probably sitting in the corner waiting for anyone to come near the cap. Just praying that the Pack 40 is going to make a mistake and reveal himself, because once he's revealed, he is fairly easy to kill because he's fairly slow. He does have a very wicked gun and a very hot... Oh! The B1's been spotted, and he's actually very close to us. Okay, now how did he get that far round without the B1 spotting him? Well, he's hit us with 2 rounds. If I remember correctly, he's got a 47mm main gun. Or was it 37? Okay, we're using the bunker for cover. I did say that he ought not to come across that ridge line, come out of the gully, because by doing that he actually made himself vulnerable. Yes, I'm pretty certain that Marder is down below. He's in the and the B1 is heading in our direction. Now, since he's actually running down the gully, he's actually a bit faster, and the B1 on our team has finally caught up with their B1 and starting to shoot at him from the rear. But I'm pretty sure that the enemy B1 is after us. But you can see TheLastKalos has decided to go into this dead end where he can easily be taken out because he's got nowhere to run except forward. But then the enemy's got to face that big 15cm howitzer, and if he does poke his head over that hill, that cliff, he could actually find that he gets blown off. No, he's putting himself in this little trap here, and I think he's expecting the enemy B1 to come into the gully and head towards him. We can't see him at the moment. The B1 on our team is closing in on that position. Now he's expecting that he's going to appear somewhere in that little corner, coming down on that rise where it actually transitions from into the gully. That's where he should appear. Oh, and there he is. The B1 didn't stay there, so he's going to try a tracking shot. Fires it in, just misses him. Now the B1 may have sensed where the Marder is. There he is. Yes, you can see our Marder is right down at the bottom of the hole. He managed to fall in. And that's the 2-minute mark, which means that unless we kill all the enemy tanks, this is going to end up as a draw. I would say that it's more than likely going to be very difficult to get all of the enemy killed. And the reason I say that is that with that Pack 40 not detected yet, it's very possible that they could kill any of our team that come to cap, and it's too late to cap now anyway. The Pack 40 has 4 kills, so it looks like our team did try to find him and got wiped out. No, I think he'll be well, TheLastKalos has decided he's going to turn around because he thinks the enemy's going to try and come in from the rear. Too late to cap, so he's not going to cap. And there he is. And he's found us. Can we get a shot? No. The B1 managed to get enough rounds off to finish us off. It's a 47mm, yes. Not a 37. I think the French had 37mm and the Germans have 47mm guns. Yeah, unfortunately, he went for the gun shield, which is the weakest part of the armor. But the clock, the way it is at the moment, I don't think the enemy is going to win. He's got to find the martyr, who's way down here. He's trapped, well and truly. And he's got to kill him down there if he wanted to get the all the deaths. Other than that, it's going to be a draw. Well, unfortunately, it was a draw, but all the same, it was a third-class tanker to the TheLastKalos in the Sturmpanzer I AMX. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. In fact, he ended up with 5, which is 1/3 of the enemy team, and 1 short of getting a top gun. He also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 5 exactly, and his win rate from the game was 4,063, which is super unicum. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage. That went to the Pack 40, who got 1,074 hit points. 1,012 went to the Panzer B2, and 1,008 went to the B1 on our own team. But we can see that the TheLastKalos managed to get 785 hit points, so he's fairly high on the table. In fact, he was only beaten by 1 member of his own team, of the enemy team rather, 3 members of his own team, which makes him 5th when it came to damage. When it came to kills, though, he was top dog because he managed to get 5 kills. 4 kills went to the Pack 40, 3 kills went to the Panzer B2. And when it came to base XP, he's a little further down the table because the Panzer B2 managed 560, the Pack 40, 448, and in 3rd place was the Panzer S35, who managed 442. And you can see that the TheLastKalos got 252. There we go. 13 shots fired, 6 direct hits on the enemy, 2 penetrating shots, and 8 splash. Well, can we guess which ones he actually penetrated? Well, the Su-26, yep, that blind shot on the enemy Arty. He used the minimap to work out where he thought the guy would be. He could see the trees that were knocked down, and therefore he made a judgment based on the position that the enemy Arty is more than likely holding. And usually that's just enough. You see, people will knock trees down, just like the TheLastKalos did at the start of this game, but they won't actually sit in exactly the same spot. They will move somewhere else. They do it as a decoy. But if they do go and sit in a spot, just knocking the trees down for cover, then they can expect a rude awakening when a shell lands right on top of them. And that's exactly what happened in this game, because the Su-26 driver did sit in that spot and he took a round and was penetrated. The other enemy tank, well, wasn't the M8A1, which is a surprise because I thought it would be him. It wasn't the Chi-He. In fact, it was the Panzer S35 on the enemy team who took the penetrating shot, and he was also wiped out. He did 785 hit points of damage. All of it was at more than 300 meters. He received 5 hits from the enemy from that B1, I'm afraid, or Panzer B1. Panzer B2. 6 enemy vehicles were damaged, 5 were killed, and he caused 1 stun, but didn't get any stun assist. On a free-to-play account, he actually made a profit of 3,662 credits, and he also picked up 252 base XP out of that one as well, because, of course, it was a draw. But it was a good game all the same, and just goes to show the power of the Sturmpanzer I AMX in the right hands. Let's have a look at the second replay that the TheLastKalos sent in. The second replay is on the north spawn of Lakeville, and this time round we can see that the TheLastKalos is in the AMX 105 AM Milli 47. Now this is the tier 4 French SPG. It's got a 105mm gun capable of 445 alpha, 30mm of pen, and 1.91 meters on the burst radius. And it's fairly fast Arty as well. Unfortunately, it also has a very low trajectory. Now, this is a paper Arty because, of course, they never actually built it. They designed it, but it just didn't get the go-ahead. Of course, France was rebuilding after the war, and they already had a load of American kit that was given to them by the Americans, so they really didn't need to manufacture themselves. But of course they wanted something to give people work, and so that's why they were accepting designs. Now it does have a fairly flat trajectory, tiny splashes as well, and there's no gun depression on this Arty at all, but it is very powerful and it's fast as well. 60 kilometers an hour maximum speed. He's aimed in on the Panzer I Aslains, gets a direct hit for his first shot. 142. Tracked the guy as well. The reload by the book is 15.34 seconds. You can see TheLastKalos has got 15.32. Now he's also seen that Type 95, I think it is. Is it a Type 95? No, Type 91. Okay, styled in. Goes over the top of the Panzer I. It's tier 4 game, but it does have bots in it. So, and most of the bots are tier 3. Okay, that guy is asking for trouble. Now his reticule keeps going up. That's the fault with the Wargaming battle assistant, that when you're aiming in Arty, sometimes the view just goes sky high and you can't actually see what you're aiming at. It's actually better to get the more stable version of the battle assistant that you can get through Aslains. Rounds out. One shot, one kill, Type 91. Well, it was a one-shot kill, but it wasn't his only shot of the game. Now, there's another Type 91 there, and I'm pretty sure he can wipe that guy out as well. Lined up. Just went past him. And I think we just saw the enemy Arty fire as well. Okay, the Panzer I is now hiding because he knows he's in trouble. Oh, and there's that Type 91 again. We'll have him. Rounds out. Oh! RNG said no, and the shell landed right next door to him. But we do have this Cruiser Mark IV who's being a little naughty. He's decided to go over to the other side of the bottleneck, just like the Panzer I did. And now he's made himself a willing target. But for some reason, TheLastKalos wasn't aiming at him. Now he is, and now he gets a hit. 114 from that shot. Now, although we're doing well in the valley, I'm afraid we're not doing so well overall, because the enemy have actually got the lake road and they've taken the town. And yes, he's now looking in that direction because I think he's worried. Of course, those people who know would know that, yes, you don't go valley in Lakeville because the valley is very vulnerable. That Cruiser Mark IV almost killed himself, ramming himself into the T-70. But unfortunately, the Panzer I Aslains does get the kill. And he stayed with the Panzer I instead of going to the Cruiser IV. Okay, he's using this bush for cover. Waiting for the target. He's auto-aiming on. And it's a kill. Easy, nice kill. A solid kill, actually. Using the auto-aim, it worked. Oh, the enemy Valentine had a go. Unfortunately, bounced off our tracks. Now, the other enemy tank that was in the valley, the Cruiser Mark IV, died. There's another enemy tank just appeared, the Matilda, so we do have to pull back. Yeah, he did fire at us. He knows we're here. Ideally, we should pull down and take shots at the T-28, aim shots, but he's decided to stay up here, which is not the right thing to do. In fact, if anything, we should, at this moment, try and run to the enemy cap area and start putting pressure on their cap. We're only 2 down on the enemy. Okay, he's going to the aim. Now, there's the Matilda. The problem with the Matilda is he's got fairly thick armor, and he's not within sight yet. So, yes, he is deciding to move. You're much faster than the Matilda. You're 60 kilometers an hour maximum speed. You can easily get away from him. He's very slow, very sluggish, and in fact, he's been killed. He was taken out by the M5A1 Stuart. But no, he's decided to stay in this general area. And in fact, you can see one of the shells did in fact bounce off the gun shield, which is a miracle because that's one of the weak spots. He stayed around to defend the cap area. Now, there is a Valentine there, and he's gone into the bushes to take shots at the Valentine. The Valentine's got the 2-pounder, not the 2-pounder rod, because it's the 45mm main gun, because that's the Soviet Valentine II. They fitted their own gun onto it. He's just been spotted again. There's somebody in the corner. It's an M1542, and he's taking fire from that guy. And he manages to escape that. Ideally, if he's going to take down that Valentine, he needs to get a couple of rounds into the guy first. He's getting too close. He'll get spotted. He's auto-aimed on. Letting it settle before he shoots. Nope. The guy was moving too quickly. Now he's backed off just a little. And now he's starting to take fire from the M15. At this moment, he could have been up the other end, killing the enemy AMX 105, because that's the only tank they've got up there, I think. All the other ones at this end. He can't get a shot on the M15, not unless he moves forward. But he does, and that's the end of him. It's a powerful gun, this 105mm. Oh, and look at that. The M5A1 Stuart has saved the day and killed the other enemy tanks. The Panzer II Aslains is gone. And that means now there's only the AMX 105 AM at the other end of the map. And in fact, actually, he's come this far south. He's actually at the bottleneck. We're going to the aim. There he is. I think the M5A1 Stuart wants the kill. Oh, and he takes the kill. But that's the end of the game, and it's guns up because they won. Well, here's the end of battle results, and that was a pretty amazing game because it was a first-class tanker for TheLastKalos in the AMX 105 AM. You can tell it's the first time he's had a first-class in this game because he's got the scrolls underneath. You only get that the first time you score that mastery. He also got a Bruce medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 12. And on top of that, he got a Stark's medal. Yes, he killed at least 2 enemy tanks. He took 2 hits, or at least 2 hits from the enemy, blocked or received damage amounting to 2/3 of his hit points, and survived the battle. And he certainly did do that. All of those, and his win rate from the game was 6,156, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see the highest damage in the game actually went to that M5A1 Stuart. He got the last kill in the game. In fact, he picked up a high caliber and a top gun out of that game, and it wouldn't have amounted to a he wouldn't have got a Radley Waters if he'd managed to get 8 kills. Sadly, it was a tier 4 game, so he was beneath the level that he would have got it. But he definitely got the highest damage, 1685. Second highest damage went to TheLastKalos with 1,147, and of course that's Stark's medal. And the third highest damage went to the enemy T28, who managed 1,112. When it came to kills, it was the M5 Stuart. Yes, 7 kills. One short of the 8 kills that's normally necessary for a Radley Waters, but of course he wouldn't have got it this level. But more than enough for a top gun. 3 kills went to TheLastKalos, and 2 kills went to the T28, the Cruiser 4, and the AMX 105 AM on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, it was the M5A1 Stuart came out with 985. TheLastKalos got 546, and the third highest was the VK2001D, who managed 448 out of that game. He fired only 12 rounds in the game, but that's more than enough. In fact, you'd get 60 rounds of ammunition, so you've got plenty to play with. 5 direct hits on the enemy, 2 penetrating shots, and 7 splash. Now, can we guess which ones he penetrated? Well, I think that M1542 made a big error because close range, those 105mm rounds, they're absolutely devastating, and they would go straight through the side of a vehicle with only a 15-ton tank. The other one he penetrated was, I think, the Type 91. Yep, it was the Type 91. Again, another thin armored heavy tank, actually, from the Japanese. But in fact, it was a bot in this game. That's why it's got no name associated with it. He also did 1,147 hit points of damage, of which 701 were at more than 300 meters. Those were the tanks he was shooting in the valley, whereas the rest of the damage was done at close range, especially that M1542. 6 hits received from the enemy, 4 of those penetrated, 2 non-penetrations, and 97 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 5 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 killed, and he earns 7,422 credits profit and 546 base XP out of that game as well. So 2 absolutely stonking games in tanks in Arty's below tier 5. Firstly, the Sturmpanzer I AMX with that big 15cm shell that can nuke a tank with just one shot. And then the AMX 105 AM, which is a little more difficult to play because, of course, it's got a very flat trajectory. But if it hits a tank and it's got thin armor, it can absolutely wipe them out as well with one shot. And a nice little Stark's medal, which are difficult to get in that game as well. If you enjoyed both those replays, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.